Yeah, I wonder if you can go back and report.
I was recording.
Which is, it's kind of rough and tumble and playful. I was going to say, so the reason why I say that I think India and Italy are the same type of country is that you've got, in Italy, you've got cathedrals and churches.
Mm-hmm.
In India, you have temples. The main dish in Italy is pasta and marinara sauce, and the main dish in India is curry and rice, right? They're both very matriarchal countries. The
Sure.
mother is revered.
Sure.
In Italy, they speak with their hands. In India, they speak with their heads. Both are bloody awful drivers. Try getting around Rome at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And India and Italy have the same amount of letters in them.
Ah, this is like some conspiracy. I feel like I'm in a, what was that movie with Tom Hanks about the book?
Oh,
You know, Dan Brown.
the Vinci Code.
Yes.
Okay. So I typically, so you can see that this is all from the garden here at Bricoleur Vineyards. So I typically don't cut this down. It basically cooks down to nothing. So here we're going to go. We've got our spinach and our cut up veggies. Start with your heavy veggies first.
We're going to switch cameras.
Oh, we're gonna switch over.
Okay. So start with your carrots. Start with all the hot.
Hold on.
Hold on.
We're switching cameras.
You're looking at our butts right now.
Oh man.
They are quite nice, don't worry.
No.
For a better,
Okay.
better side.
All right. So start with your heavy veggies, and then you can either just do the Italian way, give it a swirl. You can stir it.
Smells amazing already, man.
Oh, wow.
Can you just want to make sure that everyone can hear?
Can everyone hear us? Yes, thumbs up. Everyone all right? Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Perfect. So now we have the spinach. So you can see we've just let this come down a little bit into the pot. And then you take your handful of spinach, pop it into the...
And our rice is still very much raw right now.
It's still al dente. So there we go. There's another thing. You're using an Italian expression. Which is stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Boom.
So here, use your spoon. This one for you. Welcome, chef. Give it a stir.
Just want to kind of get everything in there so it's starting to cook and then we'll cover it. Is that what we're doing?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
You want to kind of get it all melding together. There's an expression that my in-laws use in New Orleans, which is seption. Seption means the commingling of all the veggies and flavors. Okay, so that's good.
Okay.
Bring this back up to a boil. So you want to get all the water in the bottom. Now, sometimes, depending on where you are in the world, what altitude you're at, and how quickly you can be able to throw your veggies into the pot or not, you might need to top up your water, which is completely acceptable.
Cool.
You just want to make sure that the mung beans and the rice have cooked thoroughly. By that I mean if they're still very toothsome, add more water, add a dash of salt, you'll be good to go. Okay, good. So it's boiling, turn it down and simmer.
Okay. And with the lid on top?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
My heat good there?
heat's good. Yeah.
Okay.
It turns up just a touch. So this usually takes about anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. So just make sure that you come back to check it, otherwise it might stick at the bottom of the pot and you'll get it burned. That's no good.
Gotcha.
All right. Let's clean up our space.
I think we need to cheers some wine too, don't we?
Oh, yes.
Switch back first.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Balance. By the way, you can get the Sauv Blanc and all the other wines that Bricoleur Vineyards make on their website. I highly recommend it. In fact, my favorite wine is the Rosé of Grenache. Everyone around here knows that. One of the owners, Mark, when we teach yoga on Friday, we do a Zen and Zen class. So it's an hour yoga class followed by a wine tasting. And Mark always greets me with a glass of the Rosé of Grenache, obviously after class, not before or during. Roll it.
Deacon, got a quick question.
Yes.
Did you stir the veggies after adding them in?
Yes.
Or stir the rice, excuse me.
So you stir the veggies and the spinach into the rice. You kind of get everything nice and coated. Here's the camera. Everything nice and coated. Bring it back to a boil, and it will start. It smells really, really fragrant in the kitchen right now. And then you turn the heat down, let it simmer, cover it, and you go back to your wine drinking, or in this case, cookie making.
Awesome.
So here we go. Now, just to let you guys know, I have 2 friends on Zoom from high school.
Really?
Yep.
Who?
So they're right above us.
Oh,
Amy and
that's
Steph. There we go.
Welcome, guys.
So Amy and Steph, I've known them for 30 odd years, and they know that I'm a chocoholic. Like, I'm a chocolate freak. When I'm stressed out, I'm usually sitting at home, meditating, and then eating a bar of chocolate.
I do half of that. I just do the chocolate part.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Well, you can meditate if you eat it slowly enough.
It's kind of like a meditation. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so what I like to do is, especially in the new year, is adopt healthier vices, as it were. And this is one way to do it. There are only 4 ingredients to this cookie. It's so simple. We've got 2 cups of ground up almonds. So these are raw almonds that you throw into a Cuisinart, and you make a little flour out of them. Okay. So you pop your almond flour into your bowl.
We've got a quick question.
Yes, quick
What's
question.
your favorite chocolate?
Yeah. On the spot.
I
Live TV, man.
I know. I tell you, my go-to is the Green and Black's organic 85%. And I just need 3 or 4 squares of it, and I'm good. Anything else, I will eat the entire bar, depending on how stressed out I've been. Okay, so then you want to get your cardamom, which is actually, cardamom is also a digestive stimulant, but it doesn't heat up the body, it actually cools the body. It's good if you're having GERD and hyperacidity. So just pop that in with your flour and give it a mix.
Another couple questions.
Yes.
Does 2 cups of almonds reduce to 1 cup of almond flour as listed on the recipe?
Did you measure this before blending or after?
Before.
Yeah. It doesn't reduce per se. The equation should work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then can you use pre-packaged almond flour?
If you wish. Yeah. Any shortcut, as long as it's organic, I mean, it's fine. Okay, then you put your water in, mix the water in, and then you put your maple syrup in. And you want it's going to get really sticky really quickly. And you want to make sure that you get all of the wet ingredients mixed in with the dry ingredients. It'll sort of have a consistency like almond butter does.
Where have you found this recipe at?
So this is out of a cookbook by a woman called Amadea Morningstar. And she had a cookbook called Ayurvedic Cooking for Westerners.
Okay.
Which actually, I mean, it's some great recipes. I use them a lot with my patients. But it's still a little bit more challenging. This is one of the easiest recipes that I've ever come across in making it.
Nice.
And it's so tasty.
Yeah, it's super simple.
Now you can also use cinnamon if you wanted to have more of a spiciness to it.
Gotcha.
And cinnamon helps to control and regulate blood sugar. And the maple syrup, of course, helps to release the dopamine in the brain. Okay.
Does that look right?
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now what we do, we've set the oven at 325 degrees, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's exactly what we did.
Classic chef.
Mark, I'll send you my resume for chef tomorrow, if that's okay.
I'm gonna start doing yoga up in the pavilion, I think.
Oh,
Like
I would
Carrie
be
just said.
Carrie says ish.
350-ish.
350-ish. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Do we need cheat trays?
Yeah, they're right over there. Thank you, Evan. Thank you for showing me around.
Great. I'm a little shook too early.
We're all thrown off. It's
You
okay.
gotta take
Another sip of your wine there, Chef.
Oh my God.
You gotta make it a drink.
I think it's toast.
Before we put our cookies on our baking sheet, we're going to go over to our Kitchari to see how it's coming along.
Oh, man, you guys wanna do-
Even like through these masks, you can still, that smells something. You want us to bring it over here?
Yeah, just
bring it over here. You can bring yours over. Okay, here's yours, mine.
So that's what we're working with right here. See how wonderful green and orange and just it lets you want to just dive into it. So this still, you can still see there's water here. I'm going to have this cook for another 5 or 6 more minutes. So back on, covered, good. Okay.
That smells so good.
It smells so good.
I hope we have enough for the entire Bricoleur family.
I know.
Now, another thing you should know about, when I make these cookies, I usually just throw everything into a Cuisinart, and what happens is the blade kind of aerates everything and makes it really, really sticky. If you let this sit for 5 to 6 minutes, it makes it, the wet ingredients really gets into the dry ingredients and makes it really
hydrates everything.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the section, that concept of section again, where you're just letting everything sort of sit and get all nice and melded and like that. Okay, so here's what we do. You get 2 spoons. And basically you just put them on the sheet pan. And we've got sheet pans that are lined with parchment paper. And you space them maybe 2 to 3 inches apart, because sometimes they'll, thank you, Chris, sometimes they'll spread. This picture is a little on the watery side, but that still doesn't mean they won't be delicious. And they'll be nice and chewy.
Have you done this with other nuts? Do other nuts stand in for the almonds?
You know, I haven't tried it. I like using almonds because it's the right amount of oil consistency with raw.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's do this one. I guess you could, I think with cashew nuts, it might be too oily. You could try doing walnuts, but again, they might be too oily. So I think almonds are my go-to nut.
Gotcha.
All right.
Oh, Diana says that she's using cashews, fingers crossed, because she's allergic to almonds.
Okay,
Oh,
so
man.
let us know how they come out. We'll unmute your mic and you'll have to do a show and tell. Okay, so ready to go? Pop them in the oven. We shoot using the same one?
Yeah.
Oven's on.
Oven's on.
Oven's on.
Yeah,
So-
right temperature, it's perfect.
Felt like the sauna room.
Cheers.
So cheers. I was going to say, if you're a diligent chef like someone in this room,
Like Evan.
yeah, you can clean as you go, or you can just drink a glass of water. So I talk about this recipe and other recipes in, I'm shamelessly plugging my book right here. So I wrote this last year, and it's actually part of a series of 26 books that are called A Little Bit Of. And you can see I've got some of my other friends, my other colleagues who wrote books on a little bit of meditation. You've got yoga, you've got mudras, there's mindfulness. And it's really an interesting collection of books. They're $10 each. You can go to Amazon and get them for less than that. You can download them if you'd like. And they kind of give you bite-sized information about esoteric concepts like Ayurveda, like yoga, in a very approachable way. Was there a question that came up?
They want the link.
Yeah, they said to send a link.
Okay, it's easy. Go to deaconcarpenter.com and you can go from there.
I'm on it.
Taylor's on it.
And I feel like a little bit of me is in that book because I think I fed you many meals during the writing of that book, right? So I'm like your muse, right?
Hey, Deacon, just give him a little bit.
Yeah,
Just say yes.
just say yes.
Say sure.
He's really
There's
trying.
a word for him.
He wants his gold star.
Give me something, man.
I will say that I only had 4 months in which to write the book. And if it wasn't for my husband's really good taste in wine and my friend here is really good chefing capability, it wouldn't have been as good as I think it was. So yes, it's all because of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You better buy a bottle of rosé.
I gotta buy the book.
Okay, the fact that you don't own the book.
We got a quick question.
Oh, I'm dying to. Not my best episode, guys. I'm sorry.
What's the baking time on the cookies?
Baking time is usually 20 to 25 minutes, depending if you're using a gas oven. It's going to be longer if it's an electric oven. Electric ovens can be a little fickle, but you'll know that it's ready because you'll smell this nice toasty almond smell. And you can just go and see when they're golden brown, then it's time to pull them out of the oven.
Or cashews.
Well, I don't know. Guys, maybe let us know how the
I
cashews
know,
are.
right?
I'm really
She's an
interested.
amazing chef, by the way, Diana.
Oh, yeah?
She's cooked.
Ask her if she's drinking B&E right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's
She's
laughing.
So Chris is right.
Look at her.
Wait.
Where is it?
Well done. Diana, I love your kitchen setup. It's very user-friendly there.
Oh,
Well done. We just bought our house and we're about to tear the entire place apart. And it's taken us a couple of tries to figure out which sort of kitchen we're getting. So now we've got to interview contractors and all the other stuff. But I'm really excited. That's given me some really good thought for the design of our kitchen.
Love it.
All right.
She just bought the refrigerator.
Very nice.
Is that KitchenAid?
Is it a Miele?
Bosch.
Bosch. Oh, that's the one we're getting. We're getting a Bosch. Except, see, it comes to see, Jim, it's the one with the handles don't leave. Sorry. Equipment.
It's this one right here.
Kitchen equipment is really important. And we've had one of those old white stodgy fridges. Look at that.
As you can see,
I feel like I'm on the Price is
Price is
Right.
you're gonna win.
I should have brought my Halloween costume.
Thank you, Vanna.
We need one of those really skinny mics. All right, let's go check our Kitchari.
Good drink.
/ have a swig of whatever you're drinking.
He's intimidated, Deacon.
Yeah.
Hey, you sound nervous.
I'm nervous.
He never gets nervous.
No, he doesn't. This
It's
is
your
great.
presence, man.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, so again, now you have to understand that we're cooking on a commercial kitchen gas stove right here. So the temperature is very, very fickle. You're going to be very careful. Another thing, we don't all have stoves like this, but this is getting a little dry. Hasn't
You want some
burned yet.
water?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I can, where's kind of, so you can sort of see that it's getting a little dry in here. The rice is very nearly almost done, as is with the mung beans. So what I'm going to do is, so bring that back to a boil.
Chef's like, wait, what about me?
I gotta start getting my resume together, Deacon.
And they're hiring contractors.
I'm going to put a bit more salt, just a pinch. Stir that in. And what I do at this point is, since it's kind of bubbling and squeaking right now, I turn off the heat and I cover, and we're good to go.
It's funny you say bubble and squeak because we are actually cooking bubble and squeak for one of our cooking shows around St. Patrick's Day.
Real? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So bubble and squeak is really, really big in the British Isles and Scotland and Ireland, Northern Ireland as well. It's leftover veggies typically at the end of the week. What you do is you have your main meal, your big meal on Sunday, and whatever's left over on Monday. You mash it together, you bread it, and you fry it, bubble and squeak. I'm not sure why they call it, because I guess it's the sound.
It's the sound it makes, yeah.
An English staple. Everything when I was growing up as a kid was boiled or fried within an inch of its life. Bubble and squeak was one of those things. Okay, so this is done.
Okay.
We're done here. We're just waiting for the cookies to cook. So of course that means we can have some more.
We're back over here yet?
You are.
Excellent.
Sorry, we're
The magic of television.
exactly. So I have when I cook when I do my cooking classes at home,
Mm-hmm.
I have my main camera on the other side of the counter, and then I have another camera which is from the top down, so people can actually see what I'm playing with.
I like that.
Where's your button set right there?
Oh, this says it's all about love. So one of our tenets in cooking in Ayurveda is don't cook when you're angry.
Oh man.
If you're pissed off, order in. Don't cook. Because did you ever see that movie like Water for Chocolate?
Yeah.
So putting your emotions into the food actually does have, in certain circles, they believe that it really does radiate negative energy.
Which is ironic because some of the angriest places I've ever been are like fine dining kitchens.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Well, then think about some of the clientele that go to this fine dining kitchen.
See, I just grill when I'm angry.
Yeah, so that's the barbecue. There you go.
Barbecue, hammer it down, you know, it's fine.
This is from Front Porch Farm, which is a farm in
Oh,
Hillsborough.
great, yeah.
And there's actually a nice little story behind it. One of the owners, the wife, who's one of the owners, what was her name?
Mimi.
Was it?
Mimi.
Mimi, who's fabulous. Really love Mimi. They make wine. They grow so many different varieties of tomatoes. And in the summertime before COVID, you can go and do a pickup party there. Her grandmother, when she was dying, said to Mimi, "This is the only thing that matters in life. It's all about love." And I think that might be a nice kind of mantra for 2021, considering
Everything.
how it's been in the past 8 days across
Or
the
like how
planet.
the show started.
Yeah.
Or how we began.
I sort of feel sorry for people like that. It's like you've got nothing else better to do except wreck everybody else. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're not getting, that's the 9 o'clock show, the
Yeah.
philosophical show. Right now it's the drinking.
That's
and
the
eating
aggression show.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, we're not going to talk about the midnight show.
yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for our cookies to bake. Do any of you have any questions, any comments? If you live in Sonoma County, hopefully we'll be starting to do yoga again here at Bricoleur Vineyard, so stay tuned for that.
Can I make one comment?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pin Sharon out because I love her T-shirt.
Icing smiles.
Icing
Ah,
Smiles is
smiles.
awesome. I love it.
That's awesome.
That's really good.
It's kind of like your pin. It's same.
Okay, we've got a question. What other recipes, hold on, I went black.
Would you use sprouted mung
Hold on.
beans
What other recipes would you use the sprouted mung beans for?
Really, anytime you're using any beans, if you're doing refried beans, if you're doing, well, really anything. One of my favorite recipes when I was growing up in America, my mom had a woman who used to cook for her. My stepmother had a woman that used to cook for her who was from Honduras. And she used to make us aduki beans, but she boiled with cumin, red onion, and butter, a whole stick of butter, and a green bell pepper. And she would boil it all down and throw it in a blender and make these kind of refried beans, which were so good and so simple. You can do the same for, you can use the mung beans for that. This company also does sprouted rice. They do sprouted lentils. You can make sprouted lentil soup. So I really like the sprouted legumes because it's much more easily digestible. It's not going to give you the.
And how do you sprout mung beans? That was a question.
So I think the process, I'm not an expert in sprouting mung beans, but I think what they do is that they sit them in, they rinse them out, sit them in water, let them get really solidly soaked in water. And then you put them in a jar upside down and then they sort of sprout, then they dry them. So it's a little bit like they're naturally freeze drying.
Okay. And then we have 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Which protein would you pair with this dish, if any?
You know, Chef asked me the same question. He said, is it naughty to use a protein?
Did I say naughty?
Well, no,
That sounds like Shane.
That sounds like
Shane. Yeah, that sounds like you.
I had a thick British accent as I was saying it. Is it naughty?
I think the word you used was bad.
Yeah.
And I'm really
I have a limited
Not
vocabulary, yeah.
I'm not good with good and bad. I think that everything is fine, just don't do too much or too little of it. It's moderation. One of my yoga teachers who works with me, Shane Davis, who Shane knows, likes to mix it with a little free-range organic chicken. I've heard people use kitchari underneath a nice piece of salmon. You could use, if you wanted to do pork chops. I mean, kitchari itself is it's a full meal. You've got tons of protein. You know, there's 14 grams of protein per serving with this. There's protein in the spinach. There's a little bit of protein, believe it or not, in rice. There's 4 grams of protein in rice. So it's really a complete meal. And when I bought, I'm just going to show you quickly. obviously, right now, most of us are working from home, but when I brought chef and the team here a sample of tonight's dish back in December, I brought it in my tiffin box. And tiffin boxes are traditionally used in India for lunch and for dinner when you're going out of the house to go to work. So this one is actually an insulated tiffin box, and these are your little tiffins. So there are 4 little stainless steel containers here that have a cage. And what I do is I just put my meal in here. And I used to cook for my team at my wellbeing center in Santa Rosa. And you pop it in there, and this is insulated, so this keeps your food hot for about 5 hours.
Wow.
So if you're looking to economize or just eat healthy, and there's not a lot of choices of if you're still working out of an office or when you do go back to work, this was I think $24 in Berkeley. So
Tiffin?
Tiffin, Tiffin.
Another question, is the yoga in the vineyards for beginners?
Yoga in the vineyard is for any level. In fact, we have people who come and just lie in the back for the entire hour, and that's completely acceptable. Just being part of the community. Even if you want to come on a Friday and just lie down for an hour, take an adult nap, and then have an adult beverage, you're welcome to do it.
Oh, Nora sprouted her own
Yeah.
mung beans.
Nora sprouted her mung beans and
Oh,
she's
there they
using
are.
them tonight.
Wow, well done, Nora.
That's awesome.
So Nora actually came with me to India at the beginning of last year, and we came back right as the pandemic hit. So Nora has had her first deep dive into Ayurvedic medicine, and I think it changed her. I'm going to go on a limb, Nora, and say it changed her life. Yes. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's check the cookies.
What do you think?
Not quite there.
Not quite.
Waiting for them to be golden brown.
Should we plate up one of our portions
Yeah.
of Kitchari?
Do that, or Shane's gonna have to start doing talent show here. Yeah. He's really good at
I
that.
left my guitar at home.
Yeah, mine might.
Guitar Hero doesn't count.
Hey.
Okay. So you'll see,
Man, that smells good.
right?
Really good.
So I have a bit of a heavy hand when it comes to spices. This is really, the reason it's so yellow is that I use quite a lot of turmeric, but I tend to get phlegmy this time of the year. So no, it's true. So this turmeric will actually break up the phlegm. If you're prone to getting a frog in your throat a lot, or if you get colds frequently. When I was in college in Iowa, I went to, my first school was Nourishes University, which is in Fairfield, which is where I learned Ayurvedic medicine initially. Part of their curriculum is you meditate twice a day. And if you get a cold, they give you 4 tablespoons of powdered turmeric, a tablespoon of honey, and warm water. And it's like they put a brick into a blender, and you got to keep stirring it. It's the most revolting thing on the face of the earth. But your cold lasts maybe 2 days.
Wow.
So
Yours is much more glamorous than mine.
I don't know. You've got a tower there. You have a tower of Kitchari.
Yeah, it's a Kitchari tower.
Okay. So this is probably what most of your Kitchari is going to look like. This is really very good. Mine obviously is more yellow because
It's better. I mean, that's
it's not better.
Not
It's
beat
just
around the
different.
bush.
It's not better. It's different. But that's it. And this
It's
is
different means better.
exactly.
I'm
No,
going- This is Western Kitchari.
yeah. This is basic Kitchari.
Oh,
This is beginner's Kitchari.
But
This is the person sitting in the back at the yoga.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm the beginner.
Exactly. So, but again, you can use different spices. Some people like to use coriander. They like to use cumin in this, mustard seeds. And you can really, as long as you're using the right dry ingredients and whatever veggie you'd like, you can just use, I've actually made Kitchari with herbs de Provence.
Oh wow.
So it has a really different flavor profile.
Yeah, that'd be
really good. I've made Kitchari with Cajun spices.
Oh, nice.
So you can really do whatever you want with this. This is just traditional Kitchari. So hopefully yours looks and tastes something in between ours. And if not, that's okay. It's a really easy recipe to do again.
Ooh, look at Sharon's.
Oh, sure.
Well done.
Beautiful.
Center.
Oh, with the
Oh,
sprouts
she
on
has
top.
sprouts on top.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Sharon, you're hired. We'll just make sure that chef is out by the end of next week.
I mean, one of these days we're gonna have to get Sharon on here.
I know, yeah, Sharon is a chef.
Sharon needs to come. She lives in Vegas, but she's
Oh, really?
not here.
Chef.
Fantastic. That looks really good. Jen and Anne-Marie, how's yours looking?
It looks amazing. We haven't played it up yet. We're gonna show you. 1 second, we're gonna show you.
Everyone's waiting with bated breath. Like,
I know.
see this work of art. Just take a look.
Diana, how are your cookies?
Just gonna show you.
This is the show and tell part.
Oh,
Very nice.
You rock, Diana.
Feel free to share with the whole group what your dish looks like. Is that a bottle of bourbon being opened?
Jen,
Wow.
Nora, look at Nora.
Tracy.
Nora, this looks really good.
Trace, is that wine or?
Very good. No, that's
It's-
delicious.
oh, it's
Well
it's
done,
a
you
soft
guys.
rock. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great, Jen.
Are we again? We rocked it.
Of course you did. I've no doubt.
Rock some wine too.
There you go.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
The Sauvignon Blanc.
Well done.
Diana looks good. Looks better than mine.
But she has a bush. It's really good.
Yeah.
Where did you get the cookie recipe from?
It's an Ayurvedic cookbook called Ayurvedic Cooking for Westerners. And it's written by a woman called Amadea Morningstar. It's a very old, it's been around for maybe 30 years.
You see Chase's comment. I'm drinking my meal at the moment.
I'm with you, Chase.
Yeah.
Come on over. We'll hang out.
Liquid calories are acceptable in moderation, of course.
Oh, Chase, he's showing him.
Ooh, in the pot. Wow.
There you go.
So I love using the Dutch oven. The Dutch oven is one of my favorite things. We have, I think, 4 of them, various sizes. And I find that by using a Dutch oven rather than the stainless, it can control the temperature
Mhm.
much
It's
better.
got the thick bottom, so
Yeah.
yeah. I know what you mean.
Very rarely do I actually burn anything in a Dutch oven.
Sure.
I have to work hard at that. Good. Okay, I wonder how our cookies are doing. Should we take another look? I think they're still soft.
They're pretty soft.
We're still working on our cookies. That we might need to bump up the temperature a little
I
bit.
got a fan on. You can fan on it.
Okay, back. All right, we've just turned the jet engine on the oven here, so it should be done in like 3 or 4
Just
seconds.
get the torch.
We had another question. Would this recipe be appropriate for an Instant Pot?
For an Instapot, for a slow cooker, yes. I mean, you can put everything in a slow cooker in the morning, and by the afternoon, you've got a fully cooked meal. Instapot, absolutely. What I do recommend if you're using an Instapot, however, is to rinse your dry ingredients first and let them sit in some warm water before you put them in the Instapot. Otherwise, you might find that they don't cook thoroughly. And when you are rinsing your dry ingredients, use hot water. It kind of breaks it down a bit better. I'm surprised no one's asked me about microwaves. Yeah.
We have classic chefs.
I think no one, people still use microwaves?
We use it for a fan and an overhead light.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have a microwave, so.
Shane's like, we have a kid who uses microwaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chef Mike.
Oh, mac and cheese now. Okay.
So in cooking this way, the mantra we use is fresh is best. We sort of frown on, generally speaking, Ayurvedic chefs and practitioners and doctors. If you are cooking your own meal, we tend to frown on leftovers. I have a different approach. If you've made this and it's been in the fridge for 3 days and you're still eating it, I'd rather you still eat this than pull something out of the freezer that's been there for about 2 years.
Right.
Okay. The whole notion of eating food as fresh as this, especially if you've got these amazing ingredients from the garden, it's prana, it has more life force in it. So that notion of you are what you eat, if you're eating something that's old, you won't get much nutrients out of
Gotcha.
it. So,
I guess we can talk about some of our upcoming shows we got going on. We got so we're doing these every Saturday, guys. If this is your first time, we will be doing these every Saturday through the next few months. Next week, we're doing a crab salad, which is perfect because it coincides. They just worked out the deal with the crab, so by next Friday, I think the crab season will be going strong, the local season. We have a couple coming up. We're doing some Super Bowl food. Country's going to be leading a cauliflower taco. We're doing some sliders and queso dip for one. But get on the website. It's got all the recipes on there, I think, through March. And, they're all paired up with the wines. Oh, yeah, the mac and cheese is coming up. Yeah, but the kids are looking forward to that one. But, yeah, we're doing pasta and pizza kits to go still. We will include the pasta if you get another one, Chase, I promise. It's all on the website. We got some gnocchi bolognese we're doing, some burrata agnolotti, some different lasagnas and pizza options.
yeah, I think we just picked up what do we get? We got the vegetarian pizza.
Lasagna.
Lasagna. It's lasagna.
And a couple pizzas.
A couple of pizzas.
Awesome.
That's what it's good.
Yeah, paired back to our wines. They're nice little packages. And
Yeah. If you've not had Shane's cooking, it's time you did. If you haven't had the wine from Bricoleur, it's really time you did.
Oh, look at Janet's cookies.
wow, really
those
good.
are fantastic, Janet. So let them cool, and they'll get really chewy, and they're really, really satisfying.
This is amazing.
Well done.
Thank you, Deacon.
Oh, they're good. Oh, those are getting much better.
Yeah, they're getting there.
Our cookies are almost done. It's the jet engine, I promise.
How long do the cookies last?
Typically, if you put them in the fridge, they can last about 2 weeks. There's just a little bit of water in the cookie, and the oil from the nut the oil from the nut and the sugar from the maple syrup actually creates what do you call it? Preservative. So they can be 2 to 3 weeks. You can freeze the cookies if you wish. I will say this though, if you do make a batch of these cookies, chances are they won't last 3 or 4 days. Usually eating them so much. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're right about that.
So you can freeze the dough.
Well, you can cook the cookies and then freeze the cookies.
Okay.
Yeah. If you planning on, it literally takes no time to make the cookies whatsoever.
No, it's a really simple recipe.
Yeah, and for those of us who are looking to eat a bit more mindfully, it's the way to go. Really.
Good for a cup of tea now.
Yes.
Ah, there you
Tea
go.
time.
Yeah.
I have tea at 3 o'clock every day. Don't usually have a cookie though.
What's your favorite tea?
Lapsang Susha. Lapsang is a black tea which has been smoked,
Ooh.
and it smells like bacon. And I don't eat meat, so it's this beautiful smoky flavor. And if you're feeling naughty doesn't work again. Naughty. You put a teaspoon of maple syrup in it, and it's incredibly good. And you must have it. Most people have it with a little bit of milk, but you can use lemon if you like.
Okay.
Okay. We're almost done with the cookies. They're almost there. In fact, I think this recipe is in the book.
Is it really?
Yeah. So we talk about the 6 tastes. Let me see. It's been a while since I've gone through the book. Honestly, I think I was basically a zombie when I wrote this. No, I kind of recommend certain foods for different body types and different what you're trying to do with your well-being goals. I mean, if anyone who's on tonight, if you'd like me to send you a few more recipes, I have kind of a stack of them which I've modified over the course of 25 years, 30 years. So you can let me know. Let the guys here at Bricoleur know, and I'll have the recipe sent out.
Harry says he wants more.
Okay, and just to let you guys know, cooking Ayurvedically doesn't mean you're cooking Indian food all the time. When I meet people and I teach them how to cook and I make Kitchari for the first time, everyone gets crazy and says, I don't want to eat curry for the rest of my life. So that's not how even though I'm British, we don't eat curry as frequently as you think. Even though it sort of is the unofficial national dish of the UK at this point. All right, let's take a look. All right. Perfect. All right, cookies are done.
I imagine they kind of harden as they cool. Or
They
crisp
do, yeah.
a little bit.
They do. So, mine. Okay,
Not my day today, man.
What?
No, no.
Wait.
No.
What happened? What happened?
I don't know. I tried my best.
What happened?
Okay, so I think I won the Kitchari round, but you won the cooking round.
I don't know.
Wait,
about that.
really?
Mine never come out. They come
Hey,
out
you know
like
what?
the.
I have more cookies.
Is that what it's coming
I don't know.
Yeah, but do your cookies bring all the girls to the yard?
Not at all. Nobody's coming to any yard.
So the reason these are flattened out like this is because they didn't have enough time with the liquid. But these still look, and the texture consistency is really, really good. Typically, when I make these, they look like the Italian cookies, the
L'ultima buona.
Bruttima Buona, the ugly but good cookies. But these
Nailed
actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'm looking forward to trying it.
What happened to that guy?
It's like when you make pancakes, they have like the little ones, right? That's my daughter's favorite kind
The
of
cookie
pancake.
appendix. The cookie appendix.
Yeah,
They do smell
it's the umbilical cord.
Exactly. All right, you guys. So I think Taylor has put the recipe for both the Kitchari and the cookies into the little chat box. If you guys would like more recipes, feel free to send us an email. We'll send them out to you. Anything else? Anything you want to add?
Talk about it.
Diana, how are your cookies? How'd they turn out?
I think okay.
Those look
Yeah,
good.
those look
Yeah,
good.
they look really good. Well
They're
done.
kind of thick. They didn't spread as much. As much as chefs.
Yeah.
See, everyone. So notice how everyone's cookies are different.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor for life.
Right?
All different.
Some cookies look like cookies.
Some
cookies
don't.
Some just look like blood.
But they're gonna taste good though.
Oh, they smell amazing. So, this was fun, guys. So I just,
You're our first guest, chef.
I know this is
Is it?
amazing.
Am I really?
Yeah, you are.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I
We started off with a bang.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about how we started off. Let's talk about how we finished.
Oh, look at Janet's. Look at Janet's cookies.
Wow.
Wow, those are fantastic. Well done, Janet.
Really good.
Delicious. Yum.
Wow.
That was really good.
Very good.
I just want to say that everybody, apologize for earlier today. Crazy what happened, but we moved on real quick from it, and we were able to do the show tonight, which we're happy. And so we thank you guys for logging back in and doing the show with us, and we appreciate that. So if you guys are in Sonoma County, we are still open as far as coming to the winery and purchasing wine and our food packages, like Shane said. Shane and Country and the kitchen staff here have created this amazing, pasta dishes and pizzas for you guys to take home. Unfortunately, we're heard today that we're locked down for still another 4 weeks now, so we will not be open for another 4 weeks. We hope that that'll change soon, and maybe by mid-February we'll be open. But if not, we'll just keep creating these amazing cooking shows and try to sell wine other ways. And that's it. For you guys who are in the wine club, our wine club shipment, our new one's coming out in February, which is going to be really cool. It's the brand new rosés. I know Deacon's really happy because he's got his new rosé of Grenache that's flying by the seat of our pants.
I have 3 bottles waiting to go.
The 19 one though, not the new one.
Doesn't matter.
Don't get her excited. I don't have that yet.
Jim is Troy.
Yeah. But it's the Rosé Grenache, the Rosé of Pinot, both 2020 vintages, and then our Brut Sparkling. So it's a fun, fun lineup for wines for this coming February, and we are looking to have a lot more good stuff coming up. So
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
See you next
everyone.
week.
Awesome.
Happy New Year.